Are political debates going to be a thing of the past? This primary season, a surge of debate dodging, marking a number of campaigns across our country, raising questions about the future of a long-held Democratic tradition. Washington correspondent Kelly Meyer is live. So, Kelly, we've seen this dynamic play out in a number of places, including in high-profile races like the battle for Pennsylvania's open Senate seat.
Yeah, that's right. And up until now, we didn't even know if there was going to be a debate between the Pennsylvania Senate candidates. Now we know that John Fetterman is committing to a debate against Dr. Mehmet Oz next month. Fetterman, who's been recovering from a stroke that he had back in May, just days before the Pennsylvania primary. Oz claiming that Fetterman is using the stroke as an excuse to avoid a face-off. Fetterman saying that he had every intention of debating, that they were just working out some final details surrounding his hearing issues, one of the lingering problems caused by his stroke. And now this isn't the only key race that is seeing the candidates dance around debating. In Georgia, former football star Republican Senate candidate Herschel Walker saying he'll debate incumbent Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock without officially committing to it. Now he's saying he will participate. Then in North Carolina, Republican Senate candidate Ted Budd still undecided on debating Sherry Beasley for the state's open U.S. Senate seat. In Ohio, GOP Governor Mike Dewine so far refusing to debate Democratic former Dayton Mayor Nan Whaley. And for Arizona Democratic Governor nominee Katie Hobbs, she's declining to participate in an October debate in its current form. And that could leave Trump-backed Kari Lake unchallenged in a debate. Now, the debate over the debates isn't that unusual, but it could leave voters without a clear picture of where the candidates stand for these November elections. Nichole?
All right, Kelly, thank you for that. So this is our next topic for the roundtable. Do voters need to hear a real debate from the people they are considering voting for? Amy, with your political background, we'd like to start with you.
Yes, I think that it is beneficial for the constituents to hear the thoughts and ideas that are off the cuff. Maybe there's tough questions that they weren't prepared for. You want to see how they handle pressure. And it's unfortunate because now we're dealing with situations where you have the RNC that they're refusing to participate in future debates because of left-leaning panelists, and they feel that it's been unfair. And unless you have somebody like former DNC Chair Donna Brazile feeding you the questions ahead of time like she did with Hillary Clinton, then you're in trouble. Now, it is a strategy. Usually it's a winning strategy, either for an incumbent or for a primary candidate that is not strong with their speaking abilities or even maybe not their knowledge on the issues. Now, it is different, though. There is a candidate, a Democrat Nevada Attorney General candidate who's the incumbent, and he's refusing to debate, and for a good reason, because his Republican opponent has actually made some very racist comments saying that he should be hung by an effing crane, and he's black.
Brian, do debates even matter anymore?
Of course they matter. And I'm going to piggyback off what Amy said. A debate can actually let you see where a candidate can stand on a certain topic that, if they're not fed the questions, which was hilarious, you can really see where that person stands in the moment and how they handle themselves under pressure. Now, what I will say is moving in this sort of age of information, digital age that we have, in the old days, all we had was a debate that was on TV. All we had was the newspaper. Now with social media, a lot of times people's message and what they're about gets muddied up by social media, sort of political PACs that sort of put their 2 cents in versus hearing where the actual candidate stands on a topic.
All right, well, Angela, I want to get over to you. And according to the Pew Research Center, among undecided voters, only 10% say they made up their mind about their candidate during or after the debates. So, I mean, have voters already made up their minds?
I think that marketing is much more important than an actual debate. And being someone who's on TikTok, on social media, you see how one post can go viral and literally hit millions overnight. But in that vein, I do think because social media is becoming so dominant, it's important to have debates where you have people up there giving their immediate opinions. You can compare those policies. But if the research shows that it really only affects 10% of the people, maybe it's not actually as impactful as we think it is.
All right, and Jason, before we end this topic, do you think debates are still relevant?
Absolutely. And if you don't think 10% matters in these races, then you should go back and look at a lot of the results. 10% is huge. And if you have a 10% margin of individuals who don't know how they're voting, that could be a win for you if you can actually win them over. And you can go back and you can look historically at a lot of debates. You don't even have to go that far back. I mean, when Mitt Romney took on Obama, and there was that moment with Candy Crowley, who decided to get involved and really swing things in one direction in an inappropriate way, that hurt him. That really hurt him. And there was clearly moments during Trump and Hillary Clinton that actually helped Trump. So this idea that we shouldn't have some of these debates is, of course, absurd. There is, of course, the strategizing behind it. John Fetterman doesn't want to debate for some obvious reasons. He is not up at this point due to his health to go on a debate. And I think that that's why it is so important. But how about this? If we didn't think debates were important, why are we having this panel right now?
Touche.
We are debating this because it is important.
Touche. That is a perfect note on which to end. All right. We have another topic. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.